Yo, guys. Yeah.
Oh,
Hello, guys.
hello.
Welcome to Henry and Caitlin's YouTube video. Today, we want to share a story of,
How you came into the world?
how we came into the world. yeah.
How you made your grand entrance?
Yeah. So, I don't know if you're going to start or I'm going to start.
Sure, you start.
All right, well, we went to the. It was on.
Oh, excuse me.
It was a regular appointment.
Yes, my 39-week appointment.
Yes. We decided let's go for the checkup. I mean, after that, then we can go to the mall and do some activities and, And then we got to...
Yeah, because I was still feeling good on my 39 weeks. I mean, I definitely felt like I was 9 months pregnant, but I was feeling good.
Yeah.
So we had plans to go to the mall and do some last minute things before you arrived. And then we got to
the doctor's office.
And my blood pressure was very, very high.
They took a blood pressure and they said it was high.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, let's try again.
Yeah.
They took second time.
Yeah. And
So
it was still high. And so they waited about 20 minutes and they said, okay, we'll take it again after your appointment and see if it's still as high. And it was. So.
Oh,
well,
did you hear that? Yeah.
I knew he was going to do it too. So, we still got more. This is my pooping face.
So we're there sitting at the doctor's office, and the doctor's like,
are you guys ready to have a kid today?
You're ready to have a kid today.
And we kind of both thought.
No,
I thought she was joking.
No, you didn't think you were joking. She was like, oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, what? I am not ready. I'm like, she's joking. Yeah, we're going to go to the mall. And then after a few minutes, she said, I'm serious. Oh, it's still going. It's still going for it.
Big time. I'm hoping it doesn't leak. Oh my goodness.
After a few minutes, the doctor's like, yeah, you might not be going home. You won't be going home today.
Yeah,
You'll
pretty
be
much
staying here.
She said you're not leaving the hospital until your baby is out. Is what she said.
Yeah.
So from my appointment, they had to admit me to the hospital because they weren't going to allow me to go home. My blood pressure was that high, and because I was already a few centimeters dilated. So my body was starting to be a little bit in labor anyway, so they thought, okay, it's time to just admit you and get the little guy to come out. So we waited for the wheelchair service to come so they could put us over into the actual delivery wards versus the outpatient clinic wards. And that took a little bit of time, but not too long. And then we went there and they had to do the induction process. So they started me on the medication to induce me, to kind of start contractions.
They did induction. No, I left. She was in the room and I came home to get some clothes, to get some stuff.
To get her hospital bags,
and then, before I came, they started the induction process and stuff.
Yeah.
So when I got there, she was like, oh yeah, I feel all right. Let's go to they call it a garden there. It's very beautiful. They call it Healing Garden.
Yeah.
It's usually after.
And when you're in early labor, you can go and kind of walk around and enjoy it. Yeah. So because I was still in early labor and I was feeling okay at that point, I thought, okay, let's go for a little walk. Oh my. Yeah, Mama thought she would go for a little walk. And as soon as I stood up, my water broke. Hollywood movie water broke. Henry happened to be across the room. I don't know what you were going to get. And I literally...
Now you were telling me to get ready to...
Oh, I think you're... Yeah. And I was like,
out.
Henry, my water broke. He's like, what?
I saw it. It was like, I'm like, what? And I saw it on the ground. So we tried to call the midwife.
Yes.
Then she came. She was like, oh, okay. Then sit down. Then they started the process to try to see what they can do. I don't know what they call that. When you sat down, they started...
The epidural?
No, it wasn't epidural. The epidural, the one they put injection on the back. We sat down and did something first, and they would and it was hurting you, and then they gave you something to blow.
Yeah,
So that
so
was
pretty
nice.
much as soon as my water broke, and because they had induced me, my contractions came very hard, very quickly, with not a lot of break in between them, and I think they got like accelerated. So they tried to get me to go towards the bed where the inox machine was, like the laughing gas is what it's also called, but it's like an inox machine, to help relieve some of the pain. And yeah, at that point, I didn't want to get an epidural, but at that point, I knew that there was no choice but to get an epidural because it just was not manageable with how quick and fast and hard they were coming. The other reason was they had already explained to me earlier when I was feeling okay that with my blood pressure being high and with pain, it makes your blood pressure go even higher. So they're like, if we can manage your pain, it would be better for your blood pressure. So they highly recommended I get an epidural just because my blood pressure was so high. The epidural would help bring down my blood pressure as well. So we did. So pretty much, I started the Equinox gas. Realized this was not going to happen. It wasn't enough for me. So we started. Oh!
That's the joy.
Leaving where we left off. Now that we were in fresh clothes, Mazda and I over here. He now has the hiccups, unfortunately, but he's okay with them right now.
Yeah.
You want to see? Okay, you're gonna throw up this time. It's gonna be on Daddy.
Yeah.
So as we were saying, where did I leave off? Oh yes, we decided to get an epidural, mostly because the pain was hard to deal with, and because the more I was in pain, the higher my blood pressure would go, and the epidural would bring that down. So yeah, we did the whole epidural process, and they called in the esthetician to come and do it. That part of the delivery was quite blurry. I'm not really sure what was happening or going on. I was just focusing on breathing on the gas as much as I could and trying not to move, but I have no idea how long it lasted. I have no idea. It was kind of a blur. Anything to add?
Still on it. Yeah, so they did the epidural, and then after that they said, okay, let's wait for you to be fully dilated.
Yes.
And then they waited for, is that about an hour or so?
No, it was a few hours.
It was a few hours from
that
that
probably
one?
happened around like 5-ish, I think. And then, yeah, so then they waited me to fully dilate after the epidural was in. Pain was manageable. And then, yeah, I would say around it was probably around 9:30, 10-ish p.m. They came in and said that they checked and I was fully dilated, but he was still quite far up, so they were going to see if he would drop down any. So they said they're going to leave me for another hour or so to see if he comes down any, and then we would start pushing. So they came back around 11-ish, I think, maybe 11:30-ish by the time they got all the things ready. But by 11:30 p.m., I started the pushing. And I pushed, and I pushed, and I pushed, and I pushed, and he wouldn't really move. So they were saying that he was a bit stuck and he really wasn't moving the way he should be moving. And I think they were monitoring my blood pressure throughout this. Yeah. So the next steps was to use the vacuum, and if the vacuum didn't work, was to go straight to a C-section. So they prepped me for the C-section and they prepped me for the vacuum because it was going to happen in the same room, and it would be pretty quick. If one didn't work, they had to go to the next one.
Yeah.
So they took me to the operating room. They took Henry out to get changed into whatever the blue medical things are.
Outfit.
The blue outfit.
Medical outfit.
And then Henry came in. He sat right beside me as they prepped me all for the C-section, but they were going to try the forceps and vacuum first. So they tried the forceps, but they realized that because of where he was positioned and how his head was turned, there was no way to get a grip without hurting him. So forceps were not an option, and they did try the vacuum. Yeah. And again, they had me push a few more times, but with the vacuum, it still wasn't working. He was still stuck.
Yeah.
So they had to go to a C-section.
Yep. He didn't want to come out because victim mind you, his due date is on 22nd.
Yes.
And this was the 17th that
This
we
was
got to the
having
hospital.
happened on the 17th, yes.
Yeah.
So that was about midnight. By the time they actually got us into the C-section room, it was about midnight. He was born at 12:48 a.m. So he was born on the 18th. So early in the morning. And yeah, he was healthy, and they pushed him up over the little screen and said, "Here's your son." And I started crying and I said, looked at Henry and remember saying, "Oh my gosh, he has hair," and started crying. And Henry was just staring, so shocked that the midwives were like, "Daddy, you want to take pictures or not?"
Yeah. The bottom line is, when you're planning for all this,
Yes.
you may plan something else, but anything could happen. And when they were taking all those classes, they were mentioning that, and I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna happen. I mean, it's good to always think that it's not gonna be you.
Yeah.
but
also
you.
be prepared that it could be you.
Yeah.
So
because
I
said she
prepared
doesn't
for an a fairly unmedicated natural birth. I did not want an epidural. I wanted to do the economic gas and maybe like some Tylenol if needed, kind of thing, like paracetamol, but I didn't really want to do too much others. I was like, no, I want to try this like fairly natural, and I wanted to do it vaginally.
Yeah.
And for every reason, for blood pressure reasons, for him being 8 pounds when he was born, for the way he was turned, it just didn't work out that way. But at the end of the day, I have my beautiful, healthy baby.
Yeah.
Who,
say hello to everyone.
Say hi.
Say hello to everyone.
Right? At the end of the day, we have this little miracle, and my health was looked after, his health was looked after, and
my health was looked after,
and Daddy's health was looked after by himself. He didn't pass out. So at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. All in all, this took pretty much 12 hours because our appointment was about 1 p.m. on the 17th, and he was born just before 1 a.m. On the 18th. So within 12 hours, we went from, we're going for a checkup to here's our baby.
Yep.
So a little unexpected, and I mean, your arrival, but it was all good.
All good. Yeah, so that's the story. So hopefully for those that are expecting that things will go well for you, but also anything could happen.
Well, I mean, it still went well. It just, you have to just
yeah,
take every twist and turn.
It went well. Actually, it wasn't. Yeah, because everyone's healthy. Everything came out healthy. Just that as planned, maybe.
Yes, it did not follow our plan. My plan was here, and it went like this.
Well, you didn't even want to sign when they brought the epidural, so you're looking at it like, the ladies are just do it.
Just sign it, just in case. Yeah, yeah. They're like, just in case, just sign it, because you don't want to have to wait when you do want it.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, I am glad I did sign it. I am glad that I left that option open for myself.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't want it, but like I said, I think because I was induced and I didn't have the natural progression of labor, I went from literally like, I have period cramps, to full on immediate full blown contractions, and I
was in the room throughout, yo.
Yeah. And
me, sometimes I don't want to look. I'm like, oh man.
Yes, I think he was in as much pain seeing me in that much pain.
It's like, and I was hoping and praying that it would come out naturally without, because anybody, right? Anytime they tell you you're going for a C-section, and it's sort of like an emergency, you're scared, right?
Yeah.
You'll be afraid.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Technically I had an emergency C-section, right?
So you'll be afraid. You don't know what could happen.
Yeah.
So even when I was to go change and I'm in that room, I'm thinking, I don't know what's going on there right now. I was like, I gotta keep praying. And then when they say come in, and I came in and I saw you there, I was still praying that everything just go well, because you just don't know what could happen in your operating room. So.
But everything went well, and we're at 4 weeks later, because Hugh just turned a month, almost 5 weeks now.
Yeah.
And I would say I recovered quite well from the C-section. I don't have any pain. I didn't have any side effects from the epidural or the C-section. The only thing that I actually did have is that it's my own sensitivity. I reacted to all the medical tape that they used on me.
Yeah.
So wherever they taped down the epidural and where they taped down the compression bandage from a C-section, Even where they had just like bandages for where they took blood and that stuff. I
Another part.
I broke out in rashes and had some pretty dry, sensitive skin for the first few weeks, but that's just my own sensitivity to medical tape that I wasn't fully aware of before this happening. So I now know for next time that I'll have to ask for a different type of tape or hyperallergenic tape when I go in.
And also, she has never had blood pressure before. It's like, something that happened the first time.
Yes. So I had a non-complicated pregnancy. I had, I was healthy. I was working out. They had no concerns my entire pregnancy. I never had high blood pressure before pregnancy or even during my pregnancy. It was just that day I went in and it was so high. Like, I don't even remember what the numbers were, but it was extremely, extremely high. So they did very well for looking after me and my baby and my husband. And even afterwards, they kept making sure that, my blood pressure was brought down and stayed down. And we're still doing the follow-ups with that on whether I will have high blood pressure the rest of my life or whether this is just a pregnancy postpartum thing. So hopefully another week.
They don't need to follow. You will find out eventually to see whether the blood pressure is going to stay
I have an appointment.
or not, right?
I have an appointment next week.
So...
Yeah.
So I think we will do a video, sort of like a review on the hospital experience.
Oh, more specifically.
Yeah, on that. So watch out for that. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Follow this cute boy on his Instagram, baby.mazda. This is our Instagram right here.
Yes.
So we're gonna be trying to post more stuff. And stay tuned. Thanks, man. Thanks, everybody. No, man.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, bye.